Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of Inclusion and Beyond. My name is Craig Tornquist, and I am delighted once again to be joined by my very good friend, Jason Glenn. Hello, Jason. Good to see you. How are you this evening?
You know what? I am fantastic. It is so hard to believe this is episode number 5.
They have gone very quickly, and it's because we've had great guests. And Jason, you and I, when we started talking about this last October, we had a short list of people that we would really love to feature because
Hmm.
they truly are inclusive leaders. And one of our very top of the list people was our guest here tonight. And what I love about her is I really enjoy working with people who are passionate about what they do. And this young lady is as passionate about what she does as anyone I have ever met. And I'm going to let you do the official interview. And I know you've got some questions waiting for her. So I will turn it over to you. Take it away, my friend.
Thank you very much, Craig. T- Tonight's guest is Special Olympics Indiana's very own Jen Kelso. Jen, one of the new members of Special Olympics Indiana staff, comes with many years of experience in the Special Olympics world and has a passion that is very easy to see in everything that she does. Jen, welcome.
Thank you so much, you guys, for having me on. Craig, I appreciate you calling me young. I appreciate that very much. Um, and Jason, thanks for the warm welcome.
Of course. So, Jen, we're going to go ahead and get started. So, before you came to Special Olympics Indiana, what exactly did you do for your career?
So I've been at Special Olympics Indiana a little over 10 months now. May 1st will be my anniversary. And so very much looking forward to hitting the 1 year here because I'll have seen everything that Special Olympics Indiana has to offer one time at least. But prior to that point in time, I've spent the last 25 years of my career at Special Olympics Illinois.
Oh, wow. 25 years in Illinois. Congratulations and thank you.
Well, thank you. And you say 25 years and you feel really old. So let me say, really old. And I did every job imaginable, I feel like, at Special Olympics Illinois. And so kind of worked my way up.
Jen, so tell us about your title and what you do on a daily basis.
So my title for Special Olympics Indiana is I am the Vice President of Program Services and I'm the Chief Operating Officer. So it's a very big title for somebody. And so I have lots of big shoes to fill. Jeff Moeller was in this role prior to him being the CEO. And so I kind of look to him for lots of guidance as I'm making decisions and helping to try to lead this organization. A lot of what I do, though, Jason, really is Special Olympics Indiana is kind of split into two halves. We have the programming half and we have kind of the development half. And so Scott Furnish, our Chief Development Officer, really oversees a lot of all the fundraising that happens, our marketing department. And so those are his responsibilities. All of the day-to-day stuff or the activities and programming that has to do directly with our athletes, the fun stuff, I like to say, is the stuff that I get to oversee. And so I absolutely love it. And so my immediate team are the team leaders for the schools team. So our Unified Champion Schools team. So they fall under me. Our programs team, which is the regional managers, those that work directly with the county programs and our athletes. Our sports team, the one that puts on all of our events throughout the course of the year. Our organizational development team, which is who does our athlete leadership and involves athletes in every aspect of what we do here. Our accounting team and is shared responsibility between myself and the chief financial officer. So we share the supervision of the accounting team. And then, which is probably the least part of my fun, is human resources falls underneath me as well. So that's one of those little extra things that just slides there.
It is probably something that you don't like doing, but it's something that is so necessary in all. Yeah. So, Jen, when we were talking before the show started, so I have plunged about 20 times. And I thought that I was crazy, but you've plunged over 100 times?
Yeah, it's probably closer to 200 now, Jason. So, which is pretty unique in the fact that this last weekend we had the polar plunge in, which I was responsible for in Greenwood. And the last thing I wanted to do is to jump in that water in that icy cold weather. But you have to benefit the athletes, right? But I have plunged very many times. I truly don't know that I have a full accurate count of it. The difference is that when I worked in Illinois, I used to participate in the super plunge in Illinois, and the super plunge in Illinois is a little different than how we do it here in Indiana. In Illinois, a super plunge was once every hour on the hour for 24 hours. And so I did that 7 times, in addition to the singular plunges that I did throughout my years.
24 times in the 24 hours, man. No, thank you. Hey, as long as we're on the subject of plunges, if you still want to plunge, there's still time. Go to www.soindiana.org. That's soindiana.org. Still time to sign up and donate.
I'm with you, Jason. I hear there's a warm-up coming. I hear there's a warm-up in the weather. So it's the perfect time to plunge.
So what do you do in your free time?
Oh, well, when there is any. I like to say that my children have 4 legs, which means that I have 2 dogs. I have no biological children. But I have 2 dogs that are pretty much like my children, and I enjoy spending a tremendous amount of time with them. My husband and I love to golf. You will often find us when the weather is warm enough. We like to be the first tee time out on the golf course in the morning, so that you don't have to wait for anybody in front of you. And so that's my little quick secret, is I love to golf. I play volleyball in the sand. And it's not any kind of intense volleyball. It's just recreational, fun volleyball. I've been scoping out, trying to figure out where I can join a unified volleyball team here. So that's kind of on my mission for next fall, to find myself a unified volleyball team to participate in. But I would say those are my main hobbies that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm. And what is your favorite part of your job?
I would say my favorite part, hands down, never question, is when I get to spend time with athletes. And so I don't care if I'm jumping in a pool in the icy cold winter. I don't care if I'm standing on a ski slope. I don't care if I'm sweating at summer games. My favorite time and my favorite part of my job is any time that I get to spend time with our athletes. It makes all of the paperwork and the extra stuff that you have to do well worth it, because I have made some of the best friends that I could ever have possibly made by being a part of Special Olympics and having fun with our athletes.
That is so amazing. So where do you see Special Olympics Indiana in 5 years?
So I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but Special Olympics Indiana just came out. We've just been working on a new strategic plan. So when I say strategic plan, we launched it in the fall of 2024, and it's a 5-year strategic plan. So your question is on point, Jason, because that's really what we've tried to focus on. We're going to roll it out in a few phases, but we've already made some impact, I think, with that strategic plan. So something we've already done is we've added some new regional managers to our staff. So we have 2 new regional managers. We went from 3 to 5, serving our county programs, having a little more time and to be able to dedicate to each one of those county programs. And so that's something that was in the strategic plan. We have launched the Train for Life program for our athletes to help them work on not just their physical health, although that's a very key important part of it, but their mental health, their nutrition, all making them better athletes. And then we've already started the Young Athletes program, which is a gross motor sports play program for kids between the ages of 2 and 7. And that's a fully inclusive program. So that's super exciting as well. And those are it's only February. And so we're right at the beginning of this strategic plan. So when you ask me the question of what it's going to be like in 5 years, I think the sky's the limit. There is no stopping us. We have so many great things that we are really putting our heart and our mind and our efforts to, that we're going to just continue to grow. And Indiana already does. We do some great things here at Special Olympics Indiana, and I think that's just going to continue to develop, and we're going to continue to be the leader that we are across the country.
Thank you, Jen. Our latest marketing program has a title, Be Our Coach. Special Olympics Indiana is always looking for new coaches and volunteers. What would you say to somebody who is considering becoming a coach and volunteer for Special Olympics Indiana, but just isn't sure? What would you say to them to make them think that, yes, Special Olympics is where they belong and that they would have an active role?
I would say you won't regret it. That would be kind of my tagline, right? No, our campaign is called Be a Coach. And mine would be like, you won't regret it. Spend 5 minutes, spend 5 hours, 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years with our athletes, and you won't regret it. That every moment that you spend with the Special Olympics athlete is a moment that is better because you were able to do so. And that's really how I would approach somebody who's interested in joining the Special Olympics movement in any fashion, whether it's a volunteer or a coach or a staff member, really just that it's made truly a positive impact in anybody's life. And I always try to say, just come to one event, see what it's like. You don't have to commit to anything, because truly all you got to do is get them to see it one time and everybody falls in love with the program.
Right. It is such an amazing program. I've been blessed beyond measure with so far 33 years of being a volunteer, and as a different roles, as an athlete, as a leader, as a volunteer. And it is truly one of the most beautiful things for me. Growing up, I didn't have a lot of friends, and I didn't have a lot of opportunity. And if you ask most Special Olympics athletes, our story would be eerily similar. So I think I would be as far to say, be a friend, be a coach, come with an open mind and make the impact. Maybe you don't have a time restraint. Maybe you don't have time to be a coach, but you can be a partner. Or maybe you can come and take pictures. We have roles for all people, and I think that should be celebrated and included. Inclusion is huge. My brother reminded me just last week, actually, that he started coaching with my dad when he was 8. He is now 44, and he is teaching his children to how to be inclusive and how to be, how to include others and be nice to others. And not because I'm their uncle, just because in life you're going to meet people with different experiences, and every experience is different. That's not a bad thing. I honestly think that's a beautiful thing, where we can all come together and unite as one. I believe last I heard there was over 18,000 athletes in the state of Indiana. That's over 18,000 stories to tell. Every athlete has a story. If you include the coaches and the staff members and the sponsors, just imagine what we could do together, what we are doing together, and so much more that we can do. Yeah.
I agree, Jason. That is 100%. I have nothing to say because you just said it.
It's it's always like Special Olympics to me is so much more than sports. I never thought that I'd be co-hosting the show. I never thought that I'd be attending Leadership University, but here I am, about ready to get my first degree.
I've got a question for Jen.
Yeah.
I heard Jen speak at Athlete Leadership University this fall. She was the closing speaker and did a great job there. Jen, I'm always interested in leadership styles and who inspires other people to be leaders. You've been with Special Olympics a long time now. Did you ever have an opportunity to be in the same room as Eunice Kennedy Shriver?
I did not. I did not ever meet her personally. I've met Tim, and talked with Tim on multiple occasions, but unfortunately, I never had the chance to meet Eunice.
Well, like you, and I haven't either, but just from what I've seen of her and watched her in different documentaries and things, I mean, she's like you. Her enthusiasm was absolutely contagious. And we're not taking no for an answer. We are on a mission, and you can, either lead, follow, or get out of the way, because we're going.
We're going for it. We're going in.
Jen, who inspires you? Because you put in much longer hours. I mean, this is not a typical 9-to-5 job. You love what you're doing. Who inspires you? And you talked about the athletes. Have you met an athlete maybe this year, since you've come to Special Olympics Indiana, where you are so glad you now know that person and that person's in your circle of friends?
I don't think I can pick just one, Craig. I have met a number of athletes that have truly had an impact on me over the course of my time here. My very short time here in Indiana. I think about the fact that, I think I was maybe 5 days in, and I was at my first spring games. And during that week leading up to spring games, I had the opportunity to head to a practice for one of our county programs. And at that first spring games, one of the athletes that I met at that county program, she knew that I was driving far and I had to go a long distance, and she brought me some brownies for my ride. And just the fact that she thought about me in advance, baked those brownies for me, brought them to the track meet for me. I mean, that's just truly had a special place in my heart. She and I talk all the time now, right? We're good friends. We text all the time, and we're trying to figure out our day that we get to have a day to kind of go out and hang out and do something fun.
Nice.
And, I think that I'm here in Indiana for a reason. There are also athletes that are here for a reason. And, I came here, I didn't have family in Indiana, and I didn't have a pool of friends that I got instantly to have, that I would be able to spend time with and hang out with and do fun things with. And so, when to have somebody like that athlete welcome me, and just kind of bring me into her circle and make me feel like a part of things was truly remarkable. And I could tell you 10 other stories for athletes that I have, felt like a part of the group, have made me feel welcomed and to be a part of the family here at Special Olympics Indiana. So I don't want to cry, because I will, thinking about how amazing it has been getting to know the athletes here.
So, Jen, I remember, this is kind of funny. I remember the first time I met you, when we had a conversation, we were walking to our first class at ALU. We had just leaving the cafeteria. I'm like, who are you? And you said that you were the vice president. I'm thinking, I wasn't sure how to respond to that, because obviously I'm very close with Jeff Mueller, our CEO. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, you reminded me of Mother Teresa used to say, people never forget a kindness. And you remember people who were kind to you. And I imagine, you weren't starting over, but you were in a new place, and you were kind of picking up where you left off. But boy, those kindnesses, I mean, you're talking about that was a moment, 10 months ago, 11 months ago. And that was a really special moment for you. And it put a little fuel in your tank and said, all right, there's some good people here. Let's keep going.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more, Craig.
Well, thank you, Jen. That you delivered 100%. We were
Thank you
both
so much,
we were
Jen.
so
We
grateful that you
appreciate
worked
you.
us. Yeah, you worked us into your schedule, and we've been looking forward to this. And we were hoping you'd be able to do it, but we weren't sure. So, thank you for
Yeah.
spending time with us. Anything you want to share with the audience before we say goodbye?
I say if you guys know someone that is not involved in Special Olympics, so it could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be a person you meet on the street, somebody in the checkout line at the grocery store, and they show any interest, invite them out and have them be a part of what we do, because it has changed your life, and I think it will change theirs.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Jason, another great job, my friend.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Jen.
And
thank you, guys.
You are welcome. And we'll see you next time on Inclusion and Beyond. Take care, everybody.
Bye.